Traveling, yeah, can be tough, but you just find your way doing it. Like, I put the headphones in, listen to podcasts, and just like, even if I'm sitting beside the lads in the airport in the airplane after we check in, I'm like, see you later, lads. Like, you know what I mean? I'll just wander, go for my own food. And you just need your time apart from each other. But traveling in general, don't mind it. Never did. I like seeing new places, and you know, because it's part of it now. Like, the last couple of years we've toured more than ever before.
Where's your favourite international kind of gig? Best crowd.
That's a good one. I love America. America's a great place to tour. It's just, every city is different. It has its own sort of story, and crowds are good now to us. There's sort of more Americans coming to the shows, less expats. Like, when we go to Oz, it's all expats, like, you know.
Of course.
But, which is fine. I don't really mind, but it's nice to see you making progress with the locals, like, you know. So you can see that definitely more in America than you can.
Nice. And favourite city to gig in America, do you think? Is
yeah,
kind of LA
I love Chicago, just because I spent a summer there and I know it a bit. I really like LA as well. Not so much gigging. The gigging scene there isn't great, like, but just being there, we recorded there and spent a bit of time there. San Francisco, I have two uncles there. Really cool city. And I like New York as well. But like most of them, there's a few weird states where you'd be like, I wouldn't be rushing back there. Like, but most of them, like, and we saw loads of new places. Name shame. I'm trying to. There's just some in the Midwest and stuff where you're just like...
Just odd people.
Yeah, it's
just
the people, really.
It's just like, oof.
And it's just like, oh my God, you're Irish? All that sort of stuff, you know. And, you know, my cousin's gardener is Irish, so I must be, you know. Like,
I'm 1/6. Fuck off. Yeah.
But, yeah. But then the last time we got to see some new place, like New Orleans is an amazing city. It's like the main street in New Orleans is like... It's like this year-round Mardi Gras thing, and it's just mental. It's like going to Vegas or something. And then we spent a bit of time in Austin. Yeah, exactly.
Killarney of New Orleans.
Exactly. Killarney on the August Bank holiday weekend is around the same. Austin, Texas has a good spot. We spent a bit of time there. But
nice.
I love it over there.
And how was Dubai?
Dubai was great fun. Yeah, we go over usually once a year to do those McGettigan's gigs. And
is that just a pub or is it kind of a stage? And
yeah, no, they have a venue. They have a few pubs and then they have a venue. But then for Paddy's Day, they put on a gig, usually in different locations. This time it was in the amphitheatre in Medinat, just outside one of their pubs. And it's a lovely venue, like 1,200 outside, like this sort of amphitheatre vibe. And it was actually really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a gig that we always do sort of when we're on the way to Australia or on the way back, and it sort of breaks up the journey and you do a little gig and they look after us, like a little free holiday. It's great.
Yeah. You grew up in Turnier.
I did.
I lived in Turnier for 2 years.
No way. Whereabouts?
Above Dino's Chipper.
No way. Yeah. What a chipper.
Everyone knows Dino's when you
Dino's
say
Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
It's in the Tin Lizzie Tune.
Tin Lizzie Tune, yeah. Class. And worked as a barman in Tramco.
Did you? Yeah.
Remember Tramco?
I'm living around Mines now, so I'm only around the corner from Tramco.
Is it still kind of derelict?
Yeah, it's sort of. I think there's apartments there at the moment, but eventually I'll get turned
what
on.
A spot.
Like Rat Mines is savage.
Yeah.
Like I was actually, we're only into the podcast 5 minutes. I'm already name dropping, but I was just bumped into Brezzy from the Blizzards down the Clayton there, and he just moved into Rat Mines as well.
Nice, it's a good spot.
He's literally around the corner from me, so it's deadly. I love it there. But yeah, so my parents' house is only around the corner there. Just went to school in Turnier, just the next little village over House Cross is where my parents' place is.
Nice.
But yeah, we consider ourselves Turnier boys. 3 of us went there.
I saw that.
To the secondary school. Dave, our guitar player, went to Gonzaga. But it's great. It's a great part of the world. I love it.
Good crack.
Like as soon as I moved out of home, I didn't want to move too far. Do you know the sort of way? I wanted to be close enough to home, just because I like the area, close to family, close enough to get fed.
Yeah.
But not close enough where your mother can just call in.
Yeah.
Just Yeah.
So, spoilers. No, if anyone's watching. Game of Thrones spoilers. If you're skip forward. Arya, happy about it? Sad about it?
I thought it was brilliant.
I liked it.
I thought it was amazing because I thought you sort of thought Arya's presence in the episode was over because she had sort of gone through all that stuff in the corridors with the Hound and the other dude.
Yeah.
And then, like, sort of forgotten about her, and then Jon Snow was trapped. But I actually went back and watched the third episode again, the second time.
Yeah.
Like, and I still
Did you
loved
see
it the
the
second
thing?
time.
I read it today. Well, actually, my wife sent it to me on WhatsApp. Jon supposedly goes, Arya's running past him and he says, go, go, go. He goes like that.
He's not screaming at the dragon. He's distracting the dragon so Arya
No
can get
way.
through.
Which
I watched it twice and I still didn't see it. But actually, no, everyone was giving out about it at home. And it was quite dark, wasn't it?
I brought the brightness up.
But I liked it. I liked having to sit up
idea,
and squint at it. Exactly. Totally was the idea.
I watched the live, the one 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it.
Well, I did it like I recorded that when I got up first thing, like Monday
couldn't do
morning,
that.
8 a.m. I had press play, like you know.
No, I couldn't do it.
But they explained that it's a nighttime battle in the middle of a snowstorm.
Totally.
The visibility isn't supposed to be great.
100%,
Everything's
like,
supposed to be crystal clear. You're
There's
supposed to feel
no
what they're
way
feeling.
that was an oversight. That was 100%
Yeah.
meant to be. And also, I was chatting to a friend of mine, like it makes the white. They could use much less CGI, and it makes
Yeah.
the White Walkers look like that. I thought one of the best like camera shots in the whole thing was when the Unsullied were like in lines, and the White Walkers are coming in, and the camera angle was from the third line of the Unsullied, so you could see the front two
Okay.
ahead of them, and like they're waiting for
Yeah.
the White Walkers
Just
to come, and then it's
mountains.
just
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
over
There's
it,
a
and you're
horde
in
of zombies, and you're like,
like,
oh my god.
yeah, exactly.
It was the same guys who did the Battle of the Bastards.
I heard that.
Same
yeah,
director, same
director.
DOP as well. And I was
It
like,
was amazing. It's just unbelievable. Like.
yeah. We I said it yesterday, but we were chatting to Mark. Mark was in a few films with me before, and he's Jon Snow stuntman.
No
So we're going to try
way.
and get him in
That's
for
gas.
some stories. I said,
Oh,
we
wow.
good
I
crack.
don't think he's allowed to open his mouth until the
Yeah,
season's
Till it's all
finished.
over,
Yeah.
probably.
Wait. He was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'll come back to you.
Yeah,
So
that's
it could be
cool.
fucking good crack.
I saw him get interviewed, what's Kit Harington? He seems like a good guy.
He
I'd
seems like a
say.
funny guy.
Yeah,
Did you see? He's like when he found out he wasn't going to do it. Like they were after the episode, they do the breakdown shit, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Kit seemed happy about it." Cousin goes, "I was fucking pissed off. I didn't kill him."
Exactly. That was going to be him. And even like the other bit was great as well when they lit the trenches, and then the zombies just started throwing themselves.
Yeah.
The White Walkers just started throwing themselves in the
Yeah.
fire, flopping down on top of it, killing themselves to get through the fire.
Yeah.
That was
I think
brilliant.
the only thing I didn't like about the episode is that the generals that he had
Kind
had
of
no action
did
whatsoever.
nothing,
I thought
yeah.
they'd fight
Like,
Brienne or Jamie
yeah,
or
yeah.
It's
something.
okay too.
Definitely.
That's okay too. Like there's
Yeah.
no. I thought the heroes were very safe. They were
Yeah.
very safe. I didn't have an awful amount of oh they're going to die.
And most of them survived, didn't they?
But see, this is the thing, lads. You said it before. I think it was. We've only seen footage from 3 episodes.
Yeah.
We have no idea what's coming.
Yeah, there'll definitely be more people
There could be
dying.
another giant battle
But
we
I
don't
thought
know
Brienne
about.
might die because you know the way they knighted her in
Yeah.
the seasons
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
episode
yeah.
before, and it's like, oh, her
Dude,
character's gone full
Yeah.
circle. She could easily die.
That song was class.
I thought the Unsullied Grey
Yeah.
Worm. I
Well,
thought
I
he
thought-
might die. He's still alive.
I
isn't
thought
he?
she was going to die.
Yeah,
I
the
thought it'd be a
woman,
nice
yeah,
touch
yeah,
that she
yeah.
died and he didn't.
Yeah.
I think
But,
there's still time.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Don't
still
hold
time.
on to any of
It's
your favourite
unbelievable.
characters.
But
Just
I
like
actually I interviewed Liam Cunningham from my radio
He's
show.
such a hero.
I did a show a couple of summers ago on Today FM just for a summer where
Yeah,
I
I
interviewed
remember, yeah.
did different people about their favourite music, and he was just a legend. Like
So laid back.
one of those guests where I was just like asked the first question and he just it was just I didn't have to do any other work.
Yeah.
He just was his voice was just he was just charismatic. He was really he had put thought into the songs that he'd chosen. They
Yeah.
were all off the wall songs. I think I knew one of his song choice. Like you know what
Yeah.
I mean. And they're
Oh,
all
you let
cool.
them choose the music?
Yeah.
Nice.
So the whole idea was like we get non-musicians to come in and pick their favourite music. Like so, I had like Cian O'Leary and stuff, and he was like,
Nice.
he picked the Corona songs, of course. Fair play to him.
Nod.
But then, as I say, and like Amy Huberman, Angela Scanlon, and picking their favourite music, and it was great. But Liam was probably my favourite guest. Like, and I love Sir Davos.
badass.
Like, he's
just a
just
badass, like,
amazing. He's in even that last week's episode when they were sitting around drinking. Like, he just always has a little funny one-liner. Like,
Yeah.
The
that's-
most noble,
Yeah.
respectable character on the show. Like,
Yeah.
Well, that whole scene with the kid was heartbreaking. When they
Oh,
burnt the
yeah,
steak,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it was heartbreaking.
it's tough.
Do you get much time to watch it in between?
Yeah, like we watched some stuff on the road, like box sets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's on the bus. I remember us watching The Wire originally when we had our first big American tour, and someone said this Wire is meant to be good, and we all got absolutely hooked on it. And we
Cancel
had
the
it-
gig. We're watching the finale. Yeah.
and we'd be all sitting on the bus watching it, and everyone had to be together to watch it because you couldn't go ahead and watch an episode, like And
Have you seen? You've seen The Wire, have you?
Yeah.
That entire scene, the motherfucker.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, like that is
Yeah.
genius
It's
filmmaking.
unbelievable.
Like it's so good.
There's so many just. Yeah, and I love the way every season is different. Like, and some people prefer certain seasons. Some people prefer. I like the one on the docks, or whatever. Or like when they go.
Did you like that one? I found it a bit draggy.
Yeah,
I was
like I like the characters,
Yeah.
Ziggy and the dad, and like. But yeah, at the start I was like, no, this isn't The Wire. But it sort of won me over. Like,
Yeah.
That's the point. It's different,
Yeah,
and that's
that's
why
exactly
people love
it,
it. And
yeah.
it finished at the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
that's the joy of every show. That
Yeah.
well, not every show, most shows that when they know it end, like
Yeah.
like fucking Friends or something.
But yeah, we love it watching.
I mean,
don't keep going anymore. Yeah, not like our music. We just keep releasing albums.
we're not that. You're not in the game that long. Is it?
No, it feels like we've been
2003, was
around
it?
a while now. Yeah, no, we started properly in 2007, I'd say.
Okay.
That's when we first started releasing.
It was Heroes and Ghosts.
Yeah, Heroes and Ghosts came out in 2007. So probably late 2006 where we probably released our first maybe proper single as the Coronas. Like before that, we had a couple of EPs, and you know, we before Dave joined the band, we were called just Corona, and we had an EP with that. But since then, over 10 years.
And when Heroes and Ghosts came out, were you expecting that explosion that you went from here to here?
Not at all. Like, it was really funny the way it happened. We released San Diego Song first of all. And
which just clicked with J1ers.
Yeah, but it actually
clicked.
took a little while, right? So it came out, and we had a little bit of a following around Dublin and stuff. I think it got to number 27 in the charts or something. Got a tiny bit of just regional radio play, and then it sort of dropped out of the charts. And then one station in Dublin just started playing FM 104, and then they A-listed it. And so it was getting played like once an hour, and then the next thing, the other regionals followed, and before we knew it, like it was getting played the last song of the night in Copperface Jacks type thing,
Class.
you know, and then all of a sudden
you've made it.
Yeah, exactly.
Coppers is playing it. Yes, black card for life.
Yeah. So,
have you got a black card yet, or?
I don't know. No, I don't have one. I haven't
them
been to
up.
Coppers in a long time, thankfully. But I was always welcomed in there. I had some good times back in the day. But yeah, so that was definitely a game changer when that came out first of all, and that clicked, as you say, with the J1ers, and it sort of just became this thing, and we started to be able to do gigs, and we did the sort of did the circuit in Ireland and went around and played in pubs and all the venues and college gigs or whatever it was, and then we released Heroes or Ghosts, and it sort of just connected to people in a different way and sort of solidified us a little bit, and it became, all right, these guys aren't just a J1er type, you know, mess band. You know, they can sing a ballad or whatever. And even the song Heroes a Ghost itself was sort of a slow burner in that it sort of meant more to people over time. Like, it did well first when it came out, but it was sort of when people started learning it in Irish college Oscuelga, and it sort of reminded them of something, and it was a little bit more of a slow burner. Sometimes the slow songs are. Like, I think I remember a similar thing happening with the next album when Someone Else's Hands came out. It sort of brought the demographic a little bit. All of a sudden, there was older couples coming to the gig.
Power ballady.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
power ballad, but you know what I mean? It was
that sort of emotive thing. Yeah, so there was like older. There was different demographics. It wasn't just the students anymore. All of a sudden, there was older people coming and like couples and stuff, and that was great, you know. And I could see that changing, you know.
Someone Else's Hand. That was two songs mashed together, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we had two different bits of it, and the end bit, the coda as we call it. I'm sorry, now I have to go.
Yeah.
I just had that bit on its own, first of all, and I didn't know what to do with it. Like, and it was actually Noxie goes, just wedge it on the end of that one.
One of the lads like, go on the lads.
And like I was like, oh, it's not the same tempo, it's not the same key, like. But no way. Oh, okay, we'll give it a go. And it was just one of those things you did it. It was like, oh, that works there.
call.
That's something different. Like,
it's fashionable now. Billie Eilish is doing it with just a random, completely cut off to me. And it's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Completely different. Like, what's amazing is you've been in the game so long, you've seen the game change. As in, you were touring, you were trying to get notification, like your notoriety. People were coming to see your gigs, but like now with digital marketing and Spotify, and it's another game altogether.
Totally. It changes every couple of years. It's still changing, and I used to get caught up in it. I think when we moved to London and we signed to Ireland, I was a bit caught up in the whole, what exactly do we need to be doing, and you know, and streaming, and you know, radio play and PR and getting the right. You know, and just worrying about stuff that was a little bit out of my control, and I think that sort of got to me a little bit. And I try not to do that as much. You know, I do whatever needs to be done when we were told to do promo, and try and make sure that, you know, because we're our own label now, so we do have to be a bit more involved, and we try and make sure everything is moving the right direction. We have meetings and stuff, but at the same time, I try not to get too worked up about the things that are out of my control. Yeah. So, you know, you can't. There's nothing you can do. You can't make radio play your song. So there's nothing you can do. There's no point in getting really hyped up about it. You know, you can't make Spotify add your song to their biggest playlist or whatever. So it's. Yeah, I think over time I've gotten better at that, but I do definitely think it is something to be proud of that we're still standing nearly as the industry has changed, and still, you know, selling gigs, which is amazing. Like, you know, we definitely consider ourselves grateful. The older we get, we sort of have a bit more gratitude and just like, this is deadly, lads. Because you see amazing bands breaking up, not staying, like Little Green Cars, amazing band, like, you know, and some amazing bands just it doesn't work out and they don't stay together or whatever reason, and so we're blessed.
What I find is, like, with digital marketing, because that's what I do for a living, is the numbers. Do you see the numbers? So like, we were just your YouTube channel, do you know how many views you have?
No,
13.3 million.
that's mad.
It just shows you that
Yeah.
like that's up there. It's like it's free.
That's crazy.
It just shows it's class.
That's unbelievable. That's amazing. That's good. Like,
Yes.
yeah, like it's funny. Like again, that sort of stuff. I'm sort of comfortable in my naivety or my
Yeah.
ignorance of it or something, because
When
I
you
think
hear it,
if I
fuck.
put too much value on that, I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
13 million?
Yeah.
Let's go to the pub. Then
Yeah.
someone else tells me later, going, yeah, but your Spotify numbers are a little low in comparison to, you know, and then all of a sudden that'll hurt me more as well. So you try and just, you know, those sort of things in general, or even, and that goes for gigs and stuff as well. Like, you know, I mean, like we were playing here in Musgrave Park in the summer, like, and
It's gonna be class, I'd say.
and like, it's our biggest ever gig, pretty much. Like, you know, it's
10,000,
the
isn't
only
it?
time we've ever played a stadium. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And like, and sometimes I have to go, you know, it's okay to be proud of that. That's
Hell,
deadly. The tickets
yeah.
are flying.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good, you know. But at the same time, I can't be just like, you know, this is great, because, you know, we toured in America and only 500 people were coming to see us there. Like, so
Yeah.
it's a different. You have to
another kettle
you
of
know,
fish, is
take
it?
it
Yeah.
take it with a pinch of salt.
America
sometimes.
is another world, I'm guessing, to break, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it's cool. It's actually, we're seeing a progress there, which is giving us a whole new lease of life, even for writing music and continuing to go here, because
Yeah.
like now with the way the industry is with Spotify and stuff, the last tour we did there, like, so like, to give you an example of the venue size, so our biggest gig in America was in Irving Plaza, which is like Vicar Street, or a bit bigger than the Opera
Yeah.
House, and that was amazing. Like, but now it's getting to the numbers, but we'd obviously do a lot smaller than that as well. But it's getting to the stage where people are coming and going, "Oh my god, I'm not going to try and do an American accent because I'm terrible at accents." But they're like, I didn't even know you had a back catalogue. You know, I just heard your new
Okay.
song on Spotify and thought you were a new band and came down. Like, and it's great. You have 5 albums or 4 albums
Yeah.
that I can go and check out now. Like,
Epic.
and so that sort of stuff, as I said, and seeing more Americans come to the show in America, and us going back there and starting to build on it a bit, has definitely given us a new lease of life here as well. Just being like, yeah, we still have something to give, like, you
Yeah,
know,
fuck
and
it, yeah.
it's definitely better than sort of having the opinion of, well, sure, we've done okay in Ireland, haven't we? We'll do another album for the crack.
Put
Like,
grand
you
out
know,
here, yeah.
you need to always, I think, no matter
moving.
what you do, you need to want it to be bigger, and it doesn't matter how much bigger or where the goalposts are, because they change as well over time. When we started out, we wanted to just play at Oxygen. That was the height of it. You know, that was as far as our ambition went. Like, open
Yeah.
up the second stage, yeah, that's great, we're in, that's it, done.
Yeah.
You know, but then once you do
Retire.
that, and you're like, oh, it'd be nice to play the main stage, actually. Oh, it'd be nice to headline. Like,
Yeah.
the goalposts continue to change, and that's good. But as long as there is a goalpost and something that you're like, yeah, I think we can do that, and we should go for that, and I believe in us to do that.
What is the biggest goal? A stadium? Coachella? Something massive like that?
Well,
Like,
you did
Yeah,
South by
see-
Southwest, didn't you?
Yeah, we did South by Southwest. We did Austin City Limits. We've done some. Lollapalooza in Chicago was always one on our bucket list,
class.
because we spent a summer in Chicago when we were after college, and we were just on the J1 thing and having the crack. And we went to the festival, and we were like, if we played here, like, could you imagine? And last summer we got to do it. Like, and we were on the second stage. We had a nice little slot, nice little crowd. But it was definitely a moment of, lads, like, we actually properly played Lollapalooza, like, after all those years of being back there, like,
Yeah.
so there's things like that where you go, that would be amazing, like, and so yeah, the few things like that. But yeah, I mean, playing the Point, like, at home, it was initially the Point, then 3 Arena, O2, whatever you call it, like, but that we grew up going to gigs there, so the headline gigs there is definitely something gone. You know, and the Olympia, but like all
Yeah,
of them.
did you have a
know.
cool run in the Olympic, like 7
Yeah,
days
we
or
did
6 days?
six nights, one Christmas, and it was amazing. It's the best week
Yeah,
ever.
class.
Just like I was walking home
Yeah, I
down
was
to
gonna say,
Rathmines,
yeah.
like,
Go
you
for a
know,
pint, like.
yeah, get home
Up
in time
George
for the
Street.
Champions League highlights, and then do it again the next day. You know, but yeah, so playing those venues, I suppose, are definitely things. The venues that you go to yourself. Like, I remember just turning 18 and going to see the Frames in the Olympia, and just being like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so. Doing those things will never get old, like, or playing at Electric Picnic or whatever. Those things are just brilliant. Like,
What's the best gig you've ever seen?
there's been a few. I saw Radiohead in Punchestown a couple of years, well, a good few years
Yeah,
ago now.
jeez.
It would have been after OK Computer came out, I think, or maybe just the one after that. Kid A. It was after Kid A came out, I think. But amazing. I
Yeah.
love Radiohead. I've seen them a few times since they've blown me away. I have to say, Coldplay at Crow Park last year
I'd say they're class.
blew
Heard that,
my
yeah.
mind. Blew my
Yeah.
mind. I'm a Coldplay fan. I went there expecting a massive show because I'd heard that they put on a massive show, and I swear to God, from the first second, everyone stood up, and I saw Brucey Croke Park as well.
Same.
There was no comparison between.
Were you the one for Bono? Bono came out and sang "Because the Night" with them.
Yeah,
Class.
Yeah, it was like I was probably at the bar. Like I like Brucey, but like I saw the Stones there as well, and I was impressed.
I
with
had
the
tickets
Stones.
and I said no.
Did you really?
So gutted.
It was really
I
good,
should've
and I
gone.
was always more
But
of
I'm
a
never
Beatles
going to see
fan.
them again, realistically.
Yeah, no, you probably won't. I was probably more of a Beatles fan, but I saw the Stones there. That was deadly as well. But Coldplay was just the production level, everything, the sound. Like there was a
Everyone had the
stranger beside me
lights and stuff.
yeah, all that stuff,
Yeah.
the wristbands and all. The production was amazing. Every song had something that a wow factor, but just everything. The songs, you forget how many hits they have. Like during Fix You, I was arm in arm with a stranger beside me, looking into his eyes, going "Lights will go," and it was just a magic. There was magic in the air. Like it was one of those gigs where it just like straight away the hairs in the back of your neck stood up. You could feel the atmosphere, and you're like, oh yeah, like And so that was definitely right up there.
Being the Beatles fan, how was it supporting Paul?
Oh man, that was another one of those moments. Like, so we back in the early.
Did you get time with him? And
Yeah, he came down and said hello. He didn't have to give us his time, and he came down. He was lovely. Shook our hands, got a picture with him. He did a full Maca pose
Nice.
with the peace signs and everything, and it was lovely to meet him. And we got to see his show and his sound check twice
Class.
because we supported him, or we did a festival with him at the same weekend over in the Isle of Wight. So we got to see his show twice, and
And in
and
that
the
scenario,
sound-
you just sitting backstage watching Try to Side Curtain, or do you go into the crowd?
in the sound check, we went down
In
out
front,
the front,
'cause
and
it's
it was just
empty.
like, and it's funny in the sound check because he'd be like, just turn around to the band and shout out a Beatles song that's not even on the set list. Like you just shout out whatever Penny Lane, and they just go for it. Like, and it's just like, oh my
Yeah.
god, and it's not even in the set. Like
God material, like.
and so it was amazing. And then we got to see him again last summer at at Austin City Limits. We were playing at it on the Friday afternoon, and he was on Friday night, so we just done the gig. It went well, couple of beers, and then out. And that's probably the best time for bands to see other bands is when you're on the same festival bill. Once you get your gig out of the way, you can go out
Yeah.
and
go wandering.
yeah, and so we did that in Lulla as well for a few different bands in Lulla Blues. But seeing him, it's just like, it's just the songs. Like I grew up like listening. I remember my dad when we go for drives, he put on Revolver. It's probably one of the first albums I properly got into. Like, and the Beatles are always it for me. Like you go
Yeah.
back to them all the time.
To tell the God's honest truth, and I'm going to embarrass myself here, but yesterday I was in work and I was listening to, I don't know if you ever, Jeff Healy Band. I don't know, have you ever
I
heard
don't
him?
really know them. No.
He's passed away in 2008,
Okay.
but he's a blind guitarist. You ever
Okay,
seen
right.
the film Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze?
Yeah, yeah.
He's that band.
Okay, right. Okay,
so
yeah.
whatever it is. But he did a cover of While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Oh, amazing.
I didn't know the Beatles did the original.
No way.
I
Yeah.
don't know why, or I'd always
Yeah.
thought it was like Jimi Hendrix or something. I
Yeah,
never knew why.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah. George
Literally, I
Har-
sat there kind of went, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's not lovely.
Something I
George
should have
Harrison.
known.
But that's happened with me a couple of times with the Beatles as well. Even I remember hearing Joe Cocker's "Get By
Yeah.
with a Little Help from My Friends." The Wonder
Yeah.
Years, and so different to the Beatles
Yeah.
version. Like what would
Yeah.
you do
Love Joe Cocker.
if I
He
sang
actually-
out of tune?
that last album he did, Fire Up, was actually not too bad before
Was
he
it?
passed
Yeah.
away.
No, I
It's good.
wouldn't really not know much of his stuff now.
Yeah,
but,
it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Do you see do you ever see, well, obviously you have supporting acts come to you now, same kind of scenario that when you were supporting those guys, they're coming to you for advice? Like, did you seek
Yeah.
advice from these guys, or did you kind of just want to chat?
Yeah, like we sort of
just wanna pick
we
their
always sort
brains,
of did
like.
our own thing. Like there was some bands around that we got to support that were good, like the Blizzards and Republic
Hmm.
of Loose and stuff when we started. But we weren't really. There was a Dublin scene when we started that we weren't really involved in, the likes of Glenn Hansen and Damien Rice
Yeah.
and Bell X1 and all. Like I was obsessed with all of
Hmm.
them, but we weren't involved. They were just a little bit older than us, I suppose. But I know we were just sort of winged it. Like we were very much just a student band, just sort of seeing how we get on type thing, and we never really had a master plan as such. We were just we'll do an album and see how we get on. And we
Yeah.
had an independent label at home. We were just like, yeah, go on, sure, do your thing, and see. We'll do a couple of songs, see what happens, and it sort of just snowballed a bit, I suppose. But now, a bit like what we were saying earlier on about the industry changing, bands come up to me now and they're like, what do you think we should do? I'm like, I've no idea.
Yeah.
I've literally no
because
idea.
it's changed so much,
Because
you couldn't advise them.
I couldn't. Like, I would say try and get a good manager, try and write your own songs, try and rehearse as much as you can. you know, and gig as much as you can,
Yeah.
you know.
But that, like technically, tell me no, I'm wrong, but that's kind of where the money is.
Yeah,
is gigging and merch.
100% gigging for
Like,
us, yeah.
yeah.
Like, even though our albums have all gone platinum in Ireland, some of them double platinum, we've never really made money off album sales. But the album selling, obviously sell the gigs, and then radio play is a big driver for selling gigs. And touch wood, we've been very lucky over the years with radio play. So the gigs is really the income, and thankfully people keep coming to see us. Like,
Well, because you're on the radio tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah,
in KC. Yeah. Would you ever consider doing a podcast?
Yeah,
See,
I would.
You said, like, I saw an interview before that you said if you weren't a musician, you'd be a radio host probably.
Oh yeah, I do. I always loved radio. What it was with going into radio stations and just seeing people work there, most people I would see, maybe it's just when an artist arrives in, everyone's real happy and lovely to you, but it's just sort of always seemed like a nice environment.
I've done one. Yeah, it is not. It's good crack.
It just
There's
always
always
seemed,
something happening.
Yeah, and it just seemed a little bit laid back and it's slightly creative and sort of, you know me, I love the sound of my own voice. Poor Cian hasn't had a word in. But no, I always thought it'd be something I'd do, but I definitely consider doing a podcast. It's just finding the right one, you know. And
time as well.
Yeah, it has to suit timing wise, and I wouldn't want to just do one for the sake of it. I'd need to find some sort of angle that I think I could bring to the table that maybe someone else does. Maybe it's finding a good co-host or someone that you can have a good sort of rapport with or whatever, so you can buzz off each other, and that's the magic in the show. Or whether it's about something slightly specific or something a bit different. Like I listen to a load of podcasts. There's some great ones out there. Song Exploder, different types of podcasts that I really like. But one day I'll get the time.
Nice. We were like, we do a podcast. I was like, yeah, fuck it.
Why not?
We talked about it for so long.
Yeah, we
and
did
then
talk about it. Well,
let's just do
let's
it.
Let's be honest now, we did a podcast.
Oh, let's not talk about it.
It came back to me in my Facebook memories 2012, 2013, in my old apartment on a shitty H1 Zoom.
Yeah.
It was the worst thing of all time.
Oh, we'll just wing it when we turn it on. It will be funny.
Exactly. You think it is, and it's like, this is atrocious.
Oh, it was so scripted as well. Like it's just
It's like a radio
so
show.
monotonous and boring.
I think we played music in between as well.
I hope all signs of that are erased
Not
from the
at all. I'm
internet.
going to bring it all back.
And do you find that with every show it gets easier, or
Like,
you get more comfortable with it?
So in terms of guests, I think what we're getting used to is having a comedian on, adjusting to how a comedian's going to act, having a musician on how a
but he's
musician.
just hitting you with jokes.
But that's why it's
like,
easier for
Jesus.
us to just play it so general.
Yeah.
And then you can cater to everyone. You can
Exactly.
just relax. It's just a chat. It's not an interview.
We were saying exactly
that's what
it's
we're
a chat,
comfortable
and that's what we
with.
wanted. It's just a chat.
Yeah.
Like,
Wherever the conversation goes, it goes.
Yeah.
Like the
Game of
Scott
Thrones,
one
yeah.
went particularly dark at one point. We had to drag it back a bit. But like, we're not going to censor it. Wherever it goes. And it just makes it
People are
easier.
reacting.
I think that's
People
good.
like it,
I think
yeah.
that's good. I think that's good to not.
It's a smarter option anyway.
To not have a lead presenter making sure that, oh no, lads, let's get back to on point topic here. No, you
But
don't want to do that.
We're cool about it. Where Cian wasn't available yesterday, so I did a podcast with someone else, and like, if I'm not here, Cian will do one. It's just that's how it works.
Keeping it going as well. Because even like obviously Joe Rogan's one is good, but like oftentimes like the first 20 minutes is just him and the guest talking absolute shite about anything. Like you know what I mean?
Some
like
physicist and
the
they're talking
cup
about
on the table, like you know what I mean, or whatever. Like
Yeah.
He's the most natural speaker I've ever seen.
But then again, he's been doing it for how long?
Yeah.
Tell me, I'm sure in 10 years, if you come back to me,
How
we'll
many
like,
episodes
class.
have you guys done?
This is 14.
Nice.
No, you're
That's
15.
good.
Excuse me.
15.
I beg your pardon.
Nice. That's good going.
Yeah,
Fair play to you.
1-5 kid. We're only at it 2 months.
Yeah.
Good
We
fun. Thanks
rushed
for
him
coming
at the
on.
start and then took a break and then
We took
rush it
a-
again now.
It was more of a accidental break, but how's Roisin getting on?
She's great. She's in good form. Yeah, they're gigging away. Her and John. They're playing Mike the Pies next week.
Nice.
And
Is she going worldwide? Like, is she doing a kind of...
yeah, they're still writing away. They've a new tune now. I think is really good. They're going to release it. Still looking for that little breakthrough. Like they still sort of self-managed and stuff as well. So they have the control over everything. And I think they're just waiting for a song to kick on and find the right person maybe to guide them to the next step. But they're great. Two of them, Roisin and John. Yeah, they're brilliant. And Roisin's in good form. Very close to her. She's deadly. So she's good to have. She's the first port to call I go whenever new Corona's music. What do you think of this?
She'll soon tell you it's shite or not. Like,
Oh, absolutely. Like I remember when we went down to Dingle to write for The Long Way, and we came back with 8 songs, and I thought they were deadly, and I played them for her, and she was just like, not sure, Danny, and I was real hurt and all, but like she was dead right.
As sisters do, like.
One of those 8 songs ended up making the final album, like, so that just proves how
she
right
knows.
she was.
Yeah.
Someone else would have just said, great,
exactly.
great. They're
Exactly,
brilliant,
that's
they're
no
brilliant.
use to you.
No.
If she had just gone, they're all great, I would have been just gone, well, I don't need to write any more, so
Yeah, I'm good.
we're 80% there. Like.
what's the method there? you went to Dingle for 5 weeks, 2 weeks,
Yeah,
1 week?
not even that much. We would go down maybe in 3-week periods, maybe a month.
You're a fan of Dingle, aren't you?
Oh, we love it down there. My parents have a house down there. We're blessed, so they let us go down and wreck the gaff and move out the couches and set up the gear, and it's brilliant. So, but yeah, we love it down there. We just go down, lock ourselves away, and usually I'll come with a couple of ideas I have. Like when we started off in the early days, I would have had like songs completed almost on the acoustic guitar, bring to the boys. They'd write their parts. And Dave might help me with a few lyrics, change a few things here and there, and that would be it. But now it's much more collaborative. I'd literally just come with just a real rough maybe idea, or someone else might. Or sometimes I'll have a bit of a song written, but a lot of the time I'll come just with a real slow little groove or a little vibe or lyric or something, and everyone just starts from scratch. And if we get going, and then oftentimes that initial groove could then lead in another way, and all of a sudden we're writing a different type of song, and we'll start from scratch there, like, and then I'll go and work on some of the lyrics, you know. Or these days we've been doing a few co-writes as well. John Roshan actually co-wrote a couple of new songs with us, and we only tend to do that with people that we know and are comfortable with. Like, we've been put in rooms with writers, and when we signed to Island over in London, and you know, strangers, like, and it never really worked.
It doesn't click.
Never really worked. You need to be comfortable with someone. You need to be, because songwriting is such a personal thing, I think, you know. And I've only been of any use when I'm comfortable with someone, you know. So yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, it's different for every song. But yeah, Dingle's a great spot to go and lock ourselves away. Like, you know.
I've always wondered if that was a thing that most bands did, like sequester themselves away. I mean, we've all heard Fleetwood Mac when they came up with the album Rumours. They just locked themselves away in a cabin, mountains of cocaine, and came away with the best album
and
probably
2 divorces.
of all time. And 2 divorces. One of the best albums of all time. I just wonder, like, do bands do that, or is it like a case of
everything except the cocaine and the divorces? Yeah, we like, and don't get me wrong, we can get at each other as well. But I think we're lucky that we know each other long enough. We were friends even before the band started. We're like old mates now, like, you know. And it's so we know when people are a bit pissed off. We know when people need their space. We know when people is just having a rant.
Yeah.
You know, when people is freaking out over a song, they'll be grand in a minute. You know. So I think we've gotten better at dealing with all that sort of stuff, which makes it all a bit easier.
Like, sure, it isn't bad.
It's the same as when you're working together for a while. Every you know, you get better at reacting to what each other is saying.
And I'll know when he's going to say something, so I hold back, and vice versa.
Exactly.
But yeah, The Chain. You're a big fan of that song, aren't you?
Ah, what a song! And that whole album,
good.
Rumours was another one that was huge for us growing up. But Chain's amazing tune.
Yeah, I saw a video of you and Roisin doing it. It was class.
Yeah, Roisin's such a good voice. Like,
is that a good warm-up song?
Yeah, it's right on my on the top of my range.
Okay.
So I tend to try and sing that at the end of the night because it's a bit of a shouter.
Yeah.
The voice can be wrecked after it. But yeah, like, it's such a good song. We've only done it a few times, but it's such a good groove. It's one of those covers, if you do, there's no point in trying to change it, to put your own stamp on it.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to play it as it is and rock it out. Like, you know, same the way we do Heyday sometimes. Like, we wouldn't change Mick Christopher's Heyday. It's just such sing along. You wouldn't want to try and cool it up, like, you know, and make it sort of, you know, alternative and dark. Like, no. It's a song about just going for it. Like, and Jane has a bit of that vibe as well. If you change that bass line, people would be like,
not
the same. Yeah.
I was asking, so, like, do you know how the guitar solo in Hotel California?
Yeah.
Is that bass line that kind of thing for a bass guitarist? Is that kind of one of the famous ones that they play, or is it Kiss, Detroit Rock City, or something like that? Or
definitely,
it has to be, is it?
Yeah, and what's the other one? Queen one, Under Pressure.
Or
is that another one? But sorry, there's definitely a couple that Noxie, our bass player, goes to, and sometimes he'll play a little riff or something that I go, I think that's really cool, but it's by a song that I don't know, and then eventually he'll play it in the van, and I'm like, that's that bass line that you play all the time in sound check. I've never heard that song before. Like, that's not the way I imagine the song to be. But because Noxie's sort of the DJ of the band, his music taste usually he's in charge of the iPod or whatever. But yeah, it's such a good bass line.
Have you collabed with anyone that you thought, fuck it, this is amazing? Kind of.
Yeah, like, apart from the co-writes, not so much. Like, we've worked with a lot of different producers and stuff as well. Like, the most recent songs we just recorded for the new album we did with a producer in LA called Rob Kerwin, who's amazing. Like, he did the Hosier's 2 albums. He's brilliant. Like, he's a dub, but he lives in LA. So he was really cool to work with. We've worked with some cool producers, different sort of players and stuff as well. Like with the new album, we have some horns and stuff on it, and we've worked with different string players and stuff. But we've never really done co-write lead vocal type collabs. Maybe a couple of charity things here and there, like I've done over the years, but wouldn't rule anything out. Like as I say, I like co-writing with people now that, as I say, that I know and that we're comfortable with, and let's just sit down and see what we can come up with, like, you know. And like, throwing a good idea that I know is just very raw, but I think there's something in it to someone else, and seeing where they want to go with it. Like, whereas, because I just go the same way that I've probably gone with every other song I've written, you know. And sometimes it's good to just get someone to see something else and lead you in another direction, and then I can be creative again, because we're off in a different way, you know. So it's that's how I find it's helping. The co-writing thing is helping for my sort of development, I think, as a songwriter, I suppose. Yeah.
You keep your eyes on charts, or who you want to listen to? Or?
No, I don't know. I wouldn't really look at the charts, but I mean,
I'm not a massive fan of it.
Like
Lewis Capaldi.
What's that?
Lewis Capaldi's good.
Lewis Capaldi's good. I love that song. It's an amazing song, and he's hilarious on Instagram.
Dude, he's setting his tours up because of it.
Yeah, it's unreal. Because he's only got a couple of songs, hasn't he?
Yeah, like 4 songs.
Yeah, I saw
Did
one video
one about the bank account, his net worth on Google.
You Google, like, if I said Danny O'Reilly net worth on Google, it would give me a figure.
Right.
But his came up as 10 million, and he was like, "Are you fucking serious? Where's my
Showed his bank account. He's like, "I have 600 quid in my bank." He's like, "Where's the rest of my money?"
That's so
It was
funny.
so good. Like,
I saw the one where he's in America and he had to go and use the plunger. It's so well put together. Like, he's
so
heading and walking back home the plunger, and then he's like 5 weeks at number 1 while he's plunging. So it's brilliant. But no, that song is just one of those songs you hear and go, "That's great, tune, simple." Like, but there's so many great. I mean, like the likes of Dermot Kennedy. I love All Twins' new album. Walking on Cars have a new album I love as well. There's a lot of great Irish music out there. Like Gavin obviously doing really well. Hosier doing really well. Like. And then a new batch, like, as well. Obviously, Picture This are killing it, like, and they're deadly lads. Really happy for them. Right, really nice guys, and just good hooks that people connect to. Like, and I'm just so happy to see them do so well. Like, and Wild Youth, another group of lads who are doing really well, taking off. Academic, brilliant band, like proper old school guitar band. I love Academic, and. So it's an amazing time for Irish music. Like, it's amazing, we're just lucky to be still clinging to the wreckage, still hanging around.
You're flying out to LA soon.
Flying out on Saturday to record a music video. That sounds very rock
2
and roll,
days, and
doesn't
you're
it?
gonna. It does. It sounds class, but then you're like fucking 10 off, right?
I know. It's a long way to go for a music video, but anyway, it seems.
And it's just 2 of you and a cameraman or something, is it? Or is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think there's me and three crew.
Okay.
So John Bro is going to direct it, and he's got 2 crew with him. So. Yeah, the lads, like, the treatment was sent, and then the lads were like, "Yeah, so we don't have to do anything. Grand, yeah, that's fine. You go do it."
Then you go.
So, so I'd say it'll be a busy couple of days. It's not like we're going to LA to have the crack. I have a feeling it'll be early morning shoots, you know, when the light is right.
Yeah,
this type
on the
of thing.
beach in your white linen.
And then the late night shoots as well for the other scene, whatever, you wouldn't know. But I know it looks good, and John has done a good few videos for us, so we trust him to make it.
Can you
look
say
good.
what video it's for?
For our new single, which is coming out at the end of May.
Boom.
I can't.
I don't know if it's exclusive, but
it is exclusive.
There you
pretty
go.
much.
Boom.
I've literally just heard the master of it today. We're at that stage now where we're finishing off the mix and we're making sure everything's right. Is that one snare drum in the second chorus like 1 dB too loud?
That's detailed.
You know, you can get obsessed with it.
But is that you or is that the producer?
Working with the mixer. So so we recorded with Rob in LA, and he's produced it, and we put it together, and then we've sent it to get mixed then by, you know, someone else does the mixing, and you're changing things, and it's, you can go on forever.
With the tone in his voice, he's fucking changing things.
You can see the weariness in me. It's a lot of emails back and forth. Oh, I know that was my idea to change that, but I think it was better the way before. All this sort of stuff going on, but yeah, we've finally signed off on it. I'm really excited about it. Like, and it's funny because I was chatting to Lara from All Twins about this earlier on. There's another name drop. I'm terrible, sorry lads. It's just because I just came from Music Cork, and there's loads of musicians down there. But like, I still get that 5 albums in. You still get that pre-release of, I hope this goes well. Like, you know, are the radio going to take to it? Maybe
it means
not.
you care, man.
know?
Those feelings.
And it's normal to have that feeling, but at the same time, I have to remind myself that we've always gone with our gut feeling. I'm really proud of the new tune. I think it's deadly.
Nice.
I'm really proud of it. Probably as much as I ever have been about New Corona's music, I would say. And if it doesn't get play, it's not the end of the world. If it doesn't sell it, it's not the end of the world.
13 million views.
Yeah.
What's
that?
13 million views, you know.
Exactly. There's a few people hopefully watching the video, if nothing else, on YouTube. So, but yeah. So as I say, I'm excited about it and looking forward to getting it out. And then we'll have the run of gigs. We'll probably do a couple of new songs.
I was going to say, so is it after that? Is it an album again, or just
we're going to continue working on the album through the summer. So we're literally in studio yesterday in Dublin working on a couple of new tunes. So we've got most of it written. We're probably going to record it finish off. We've finished 4 songs recorded and everything, and we'll probably do another 6 or 8. September, I'd say.
Will you go stateside to record, or will you do it in Ireland?
I think we'll probably finish it off here. We haven't really decided, but just expense-wise and stuff. When you spend all this money going over to do a music video, so it's just getting everyone over there and then renting studios and stuff. We'll see. We'll see how we get on. We'll see what the story is and where exactly we're going to do it. But it's looking like September, and then it'll be released early next year. That's the rough plan.
And does that routine? No, you're fine. Does that routine change for you? New album. And then it's a certain tour amount and this and this, or is it just every time it's something different?
It can be different. We tend to work sort of 2 years in advance. We'll have a meeting and basically plan out the next 2 years.
Okay.
And of roughly,
Is that a dreading meeting? Is that like a...
No, it's actually sort of exciting. You leave the meeting going, well, I don't have to get another job for another 2 years anyway. I'm grand for another 2. Anyway.
They just advance me money.
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually cool when you see it all lined out. Hopefully this will happen, and then in this quarter here, the second single will go to radio, and this is when we're doing this, and then we'll have these festivals and we'll have these gigs, and it's great to see it all lined up ahead of you, and you go, oh jeez, that sounds like a good couple of years. We're going off on tour, we're going to do some big gigs here, we're going to release an album. So it's that's the way it tends to work. Now obviously it can change, and if something goes well, sometimes a single might take a little bit longer to get play, and then you delay the next one, whatever it may be. But thankfully, like as I said, because we started our own label now, we sort of are in control of all that sort of stuff, and it sort of becomes fun, and it makes you work harder nearly, I think, when you have your own label. It's a bit like you guys with this, because if it's not going well, you've no one else to blame. Whereas if you're working for a station or someone else's thing, it's like, they should be doing the marketing in a different way, they should be doing this, and they're not pushing it in the right way or whatever. But when it's yourself, you've no one but yourself to blame. You can hire whoever you want to work for you and push it in whatever way you want, so it's definitely made us all work a bit harder,
Are you, because it's your own label, are you looking, you haven't signed anyone else on the AV?
No, but we haven't ruled it out. We haven't ruled it out. Eventually, I think we're not actively looking for anyone. For one thing, we haven't got any time.
Yeah.
But I think down the road, if we came across the right act at the right time and it felt right, I would 100% think that we'd be up for it. I think we've learned a lot, especially our manager Jim. So it's the 4 of us and our manager Jim who are in the label, and we've learned a lot over the years. And I think if we found, as you said, someone who just we're all looking at each other going, lads, if we don't do something here, someone else might. So
would it be stupid of me to say that the record label is a retirement plan?
I'd love it to be. Like these days, it's so hard for a label. It's not really the best industry to be starting a business in. But I mean, it obviously suits us with the stage we're at in Ireland. We can promote ourselves, so and people, our name is already out there. So to a certain extent, a lot of the work is already done for us. Because really getting the foot in the door is probably the hardest thing, and it's the hardest thing for labels to do. And these days, there's labels signing bands. It used to be 4 album deal. Now it's a 3 single deal. See how your Spotify numbers are, and then drop you or sign you. And it's totally different now. So, but ideally, I mean, even if it was like sort of more of a management thing as opposed to
an agency,
label,
more than
that type of thing, or development, or as opposed to, because record labels, I don't know. Again, that game is changing so quickly, and now it's all about Spotify, and it's just,
That's the thing, because I don't know, did you see Steven Tyler on Joe Rogan? It was just...
No, I heard that was a good chat, though.
So good.
Yeah.
All he was doing was railing on Spotify. Yeah. Because you don't see money from it at all.
Not at all.
Literally nothing.
Never.
He's like, it's not... Obviously, it's a good platform to get an audience to come to your live shows.
Yeah.
But for a legend like... obviously, he's loaded. He doesn't need it, obviously. But he made a good argument that... It's piracy. Well, it's not piracy because they pay 0% of something or something.
It benefits us. It doesn't benefit the musician.
For the punters, exactly. It's no better time to be a punter, because we can listen to your album on Spotify for 15 quid a month, and then 40 quid a ticket, 50 quid a ticket, whatever it is, 60 quid, and then it's the best time ever to be a punter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And there's loads of gigs going on as well.
Everyone's gigging. That's the thing. Everyone has to gig.
Everyone has to gig because of it. Like the amount of acts coming here, And I don't know, I think it's one of those things for us because, as I said, we never actually made money from album sales, that I wouldn't rant about it because I don't know what it was like before.
Yeah.
Where Cian
Yeah,
Tyler
that's fair enough
probably
as well.
was
Yeah,
seeing
yeah,
the
yeah.
millions come in for years. And now, but the worst thing about it is there is millions being made. It's now the labels that are making their money off Spotify, but the argument is they're not distributing it
The artists.
as fairly as when it was all the physical sales being sold. And again, that's an argument you want to talk to other people about that. But as I say, I try not to get too involved in that stuff. It just depresses me.
Do you get a choice of being on it?
Of which?
Of being on Spotify?
Yeah.
Garth Brooks
Garth Brooks is the biggest one I can think of that isn't on it.
Yeah.
Good.
Well,
Good.
I imagine if you went to a label and you said a label wanted to sign you and you said I don't want my music on Spotify, they would tell you to.
I think it's cutting off your two
forget
arms.
it,
There's no
like,
point.
you know.
Why
Unless
would
you're
you?
made already.
Yeah.
But as I say, for us, it's just about driving the gig. So whatever way people listen to music, I would never be one to rant, despite. As I acknowledge, it's probably unfair on artists.
Yeah.
And it probably is, and it is like because
Yeah.
as I said, we've made a few like little bits of money at least from album sales. Never made a penny from Spotify, but it is what it is. That's just the way the industry is, and as I say, you get on with it. And thankfully, people are still coming to see us. Long may it continue.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
You have some heavy hitters with you in Independent Park.
Yeah, big
Lauren
time.
Hill, George Ezra.
Even on our night alone, we have All Twins and Sigrid.
Yeah.
Like that's
Sigrid's
like I saw Sigrid at Electric Picnic. It was fucking amazing. She's deadly.
She is.
She's so good. Like,
Um,
and I love All Twins as well. So yeah, but who else is on? Is it
George Ezra, yourselves, Lauren Hill.
Liam Gallagher's on the night after us?
Yeah. Then Live Marquee has some. Live Marquee's got a lot much older.
Has us, yeah.
Toto, Aslan.
And the prices reflect that as well. Like I remember when
they?
the Marquee was there the first 5 or 6 years, you'd get to a gig for 25, 30 quid.
Yeah,
And
it's
it would
all
be
those,
sold out every
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I think it was like until John came over and killed it. Like
But they've had some
€150
huge
ticket
names.
is crazy.
Like Elton John, Kanye, 50 Cent, all these huge people as well.
Those were
Obviously
the worst
yourselves,
gigs
but-
I've ever been at.
That's
Those
the
two
thing.
rap gigs, the 50 Cent and Kanye was
It didn't
terrible.
work to no.
But then they've
They'd no
been some of your
interest in
best
being there.
gigs.
Oh my God, the Marquee,
Marquee is-
probably. Yeah, I'd say we've had. Out of our top 10 gigs of all time, I'd say there's 6 Marquees in
Yeah.
there. Like it's just every time
And
we
it's
go down there,
jam-packed.
it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And like even this year, we were like, should we go? Like
Was that a thought? Was an
definitely,
argument?
we
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
have a conversation about it, but we just said, you know what, let's just try something different. I'd love to go back and do the Marquee again if they'll have us. But it just felt right to try something different. We decided we weren't going to do a big Dublin show this summer. So let's just do a big show in Cork and do something different. Because it was getting to the stage where we were announced like for the Marquee, and you'd see the tweets, people going, "Oh, Chrissy Moore and the Crown is again, surprise, surprise!" Like you know,
Yeah.
and like that never, not that bothered me. I don't care. I was delighted to do it every year, but it was like, let's just try something different, you know. And it wasn't in any way like. Yeah, anything against the Marquee, as I said, it's the best gigs we've had, like in Cork, without a doubt, and possibly all over. Like, and hopefully we'll have a good one in Independent Park, and as I say, hopefully we'll be back in the Marquee again sometime.
The World Tour of World Tour of Ireland.
Yeah, that's it.
Northern Ireland, or Galway and us, is it?
I think at the moment we've got like 5 gigs announced. We're doing Belfast, Cork, Galway, and Limerick are all announced, and then we're announcing a couple more festivals. So we decided not to do a Dublin show and sort of bring the tour on all different counties, like what I was saying back in the day when we used to do the circuit, like, and we're doing it again, obviously in bigger capacities now. But a bit like what you were saying earlier on about all the bands coming, we found that a lot of people we would put on a big show, say in the summer in Dublin, and hope that people would travel to see us. But then there's like accommodation costs and everything, and it just found everyone like sort of going, it's so expensive, even to go up to Croke Park to see Ed Sheeran or Taylor Swift or whoever it is, like. So we were like, why don't we just go on the road and play some of the towns that we haven't played in ages? So I think we're going to announce a couple more, Kilkenny, Sligo, a couple more. So there's a couple of exclusives for
It's
you
kind of
there on the way.
smaller, intimate, 1,200 people.
No, they're like, we're bringing a festival tent. Like we're going 3,000 cap, 4,000 cap. Like no messing. It's a long way festival. We're putting together a big bill. We pick all the bands.
Class.
And we have a day out. Like, and it's meant to be, you know, something different
Then again,
to do. So
that's another retirement plan.
Yeah.
This whole festival thing, because there's so much money to be made in that game. Even here now, like there was an event here, and it was 6 speakers, 7 speakers, digital marketing event. Like, it was 15 grand they made in the day. It's like,
Yeah.
for 6 hours, it's like,
Yeah,
what, excuse me?
yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
I think you paid the speakers 300, 400 quid each.
Yeah, but did you learn nothing from the Fire Festival documentary?
Exactly. Yeah. That was
I'm
amazing.
tipping
Yeah.
that
You
guy
would
as
never
well.
get away with it here, though. Like, I was just imagining Shane Dunn from Independence, like, when some of those things are happening, like, what? Like, that would just never get through the line.
That
Some
was
of
so
those.
funny.
I don't need any no men. I just
Yeah.
need yes men. It's like, what?
That's when you want the camera on the wall to see all this shit happen. Like,
Yeah.
especially the Irish. What are you talking about? Fuck off, away
But
from
that's a good thing about the Irish sort of personality is
Yeah.
when you're trying to build
There's no
things like that.
bullshit.
I tell you what's wrong with that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They're soon to
and
call
you
you
go,
out, like.
okay, and then you try and fix that. And you tell you what's wrong with that, and so you get there before the problems actually arrive.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, there's no way the Irish population, if they paid that much for a thing over here, is going to sit back and just be like, okay, we've just lost our money.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
they'd be
They're right.
rioting in the streets.
Absolute riot. Yeah, the place would be wrecked. But a great documentary, so funny.
Yeah.
You golfing much?
Playing a little bit now. The weather's improving. I'm still crap. My swing is crap, but I love
What are you
it.
playing off?
I play off 10.
Nice, I'm 11.
Oh, nice.
So we're the same. I'm better
So
than
I'm not a good 10 though. I should be off higher than that. I
Say
think.
just the way I say it is, and you can take it if you want, is we're bandits.
Yeah,
You know, we're
well,
bandits
I
off.
don't know. It's
I have
what-
absolutely no idea what any of that means.
and so do probably 70% of
Yeah.
the podcast listeners who just turned over.
Oh, golf,
But,
the fuck's up.
yeah, but no, I love it. It's like my meditation. It's like everyone has their thing. I go out there and it's just like turn off from
Yeah.
everything, and you just obsessed with this ball going in this hole, and it's literally like
Yeah.
yoga for me.
Tiger was class, wasn't it?
Oh, amazing. I was cheering at the TV.
Yeah,
like,
everyone
you know.
was.
Yeah,
Like, it was just, even the red t-shirt he was wearing was like, oh, it's
know.
15 years ago.
unbelievable.
We're poker players, and I always said it's very like golf. Because you literally have to reset yourself after every swing or every hand. We've lost so much money just because
yeah.
angry. Oh yeah,
No
well,
way.
I'm on.
I was in Vegas last weekend for my brother's stag. It's great.
How was it?
Playing a bit of poker. It was great.
Well, you went to the Top Golf.
Yeah, we went to
It's
Top
class,
Golf as
isn't
well.
it?
It was deadly. Yeah, it
It
was
is
really
class.
good fun. It was a great like hungover activity just to get us going
Yeah,
again.
I saw that in
so
the stories.
But-
Top Golf is literally like a 6-story driving range.
Yeah.
But there's a DJ and there's food and there's beers and
And,
it
and
is
you
class.
hit in at greens and you get points and
Yeah,
there's
and there's like
competition computers.
little
and all.
circles you try and get it in. It
Nice.
is class.
Yeah,
We went on a 17-man stag.
no way.
Yeah, it was class. I was lucky because it coincided with the UFC event as well.
Oh, no
We're
way.
big UFC fans. And what was it was Woodley versus Wonderboy 2 or whatever it
Yeah.
was.
Nice.
And I was the only one who went. But still, the lads are like, anyway, but I met everyone. Every fighter was in Vegas walking around. I was like, yep.
No way.
Yep. I
Savage.
didn't want to be that guy either.
Yeah.
Do you watch UFC?
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, I watched the big stuff like some of them. So I'd watch. Yeah. I mean, I watched all McGregor's fights. We watched one of his in America, but I
You went
always
live,
liked
is it,
it.
or
What's that?
You went live or you just saw
No,
in
sorry,
spars
we were
or
in
something?
Austin watching it in
Okay,
a bar.
nice.
I was
So the
actually
atmosphere's
looking at
crack.
flying down because it was only a couple of hours and my mates were over at that match. The one he lost there. Who beat him again? Khabib killed him. Yeah, it was deadly. It was deadly. But yeah, I mean Vegas this time there was no fights or anything on, but it's such
Another
a great
world,
place,
isn't
isn't it?
It's another one. He's never been. We're going to go take you soon.
We're going to go see
It's
it,
worth
yeah.
seeing.
We'll come
Like,
up with a
it's
reason.
worth seeing.
Yeah.
It's
I sat
good.
down at the poker table like 300 or 400 quid. I was like, great. But literally about an hour later, I was like, I have no money left. I was like, yep, I'm the fish here.
Yeah,
I looked around going, there's no other fool here but me here. Like, and I was like, yep, well, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, that could happen.
But it's scary because there's times where I've woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, went down, got a full breakfast, and literally everyone's up and going and gambling and drinking.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
There's no die down time at all.
Not at
There's
it's
all.
no-
just
there's no quiet,
non-stop. And there's 6,000, 5,000.
Yeah.
You just see
New
people
York's like that as well,
dropping.
isn't it?
Yeah.
New York's a different level, though.
Yeah.
I've never felt so irrelevant in the
Yeah,
scenario.
yeah.
When you,
Insignificant,
it just
yeah.
checks you as in like, right, I'm literally nothing in this world.
Yeah.
New York, is it?
Just
Yeah.
there's so much going on. There's so many people there. It's like you have like obviously you have these problems and you have to deal with them in your life and stuff. But you're like, what am I thinking of?
Yeah.
There's literally 6 homeless people over there, and obviously that happens in Ireland as well. But just to check yourself, go to New York
Yeah.
because what is it? Every 1 in 12 persons a millionaire in New York.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, every 41 in Dublin is a millionaire.
What?
You
Yeah.
need to be to live there at this stage.
It's
Well,
ridiculous. But
yeah.
yeah, that's true. But
Fucking
New
hell.
York is a check. It's a gut check
Yeah.
in a good way. Again, I saw UFC Madison Square Garden.
No
It was
way.
class, yeah.
I'd
George
say
St.
that's
Pierre
amazing.
versus Michael Bisping.
No way.
It was class.
I love George St. Pierre. He's great.
Yeah. He'll never come back, is he? He's
No.
done.
No, he's done.
Yeah.
He's done. And they just announced Brock Lesnar's retired now.
Saw that as well.
What about? I used to love Anderson Silva. Is he still knocking around?
Yeah, he just.
Unfortunately, yeah, he's still
he fought
going.
Does he do
Wonderboy.
drugs or something,
I
does
don't
he?
Wonderboy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he-
Okay.
He's always on steroids.
Is he?
He's still the GOAT, though.
Yeah.
He's class.
Yeah.
Way back when he was dodging those stupid
Yeah.
things, you're like, ah, this badass.
He was the Muhammad Ali of
Yeah, for a
MMA.
while.
Yeah,
at one
absolutely.
Stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the plan for the night?
I think they have a dinner planned first. I'm going over to my friends now in Il Padrinos. See
Nice.
Payman. Do you know Payman from Il Padrinos? He's a friend of mine, so I'm going over to visit him, say hello.
Nice.
Got a plug for his restaurant in there as well. Best Italian in Cork.
I had my wedding dinner there.
Did you?
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it was small wedding dinner. It was
Nice. That's a great spot. He always looks after us. But
He's the tall chap with the mustache. or he
Iranian
just-
fella, yeah, the solid guy, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, go over see him, and then they're having there's a few gigs on. So I
Nice.
think we're gonna go see True
Little
Tides.
tour kind of thing.
Yeah, no, a few gigs on tonight for the music work thing. that I was
Okay.
at, so.
In the one place, is it? Or?
Yeah, I think there's gigs on in Old Oak and in Crane Lane.
Nice.
So Lars band True Tides, who are
Epic.
supporting us, they're a brilliant band. They're on, so I think I'm going to go down and see them.
Nice. Let
So
you
that's
go.
it.
Yeah.
Lads, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
Thanks a million
Thank
for
you.
Best of luck with it now.
I appreciate it. Subscribe, all this. I keep subscribe, like, share, rate, all that kind of stuff. Never say it. Danny, appreciate it. We're big
Thanks,
fans.
Danny.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Cheers.
Good luck.